Madame, your dinner is served.
Oh, thank you very much. That looks delightful.
Do enjoy your food, madam.
That was absolutely delicious. May I have the bill, please?
Of course, madam.
I'm sorry, there seems to be a problem with the bill. I didn't see this on the menu.
Oh, madam, that's just the charge that we put on the bill for cleaning up after you've been here.
Okay, that's most irregular. Here's my card.
Oi, where do you think you're going?
I'm leaving, the bill's been paid.
But you're planning to leave without cleaning up?
But you've already told me the cleaning charge has been paid for.
But before you leave, I want you to strip the tablecloth from the table. I then want you to go into the kitchen. I want you to get all of the various things we've used and separate it into glass, plastic, paper, and general waste.
But isn't that included in the cleaning charge?
Forget about that cleaning charge. Oh, and another thing, once you've got the glass, there's a place down the road where you need to just put that in there. Is that okay?
You wouldn't put up with that in a restaurant, would you? But that is just how Airbnb can be sometimes. There seems to be some real troubling things going on.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not just us that feel that way. In fact, we surveyed a number of our viewers here on YouTube to ask them what they thought. And 47% of them said they're going to be relying less on Airbnb in the future, with only 5% saying more. Right, let's get into the detail of this. So, what are the kind of common complaints we're seeing from our YouTube viewers?
Not enough kitchen amenities to be able to cook yourself, and general cleanliness.
Yeah, that's something. I remember also seeing that a number of them just thought it wasn't that comfortable, and we've known a few things about that. And one of our viewers also said that they think that the Airbnb they used was actually probably used in a gunfight just prior. So they're the kind of crazy things that happen when you open it out to a number of people and their opinions of this.
It'd be so easy to sit here and slate Airbnb, but we actually love it because of the flexibility it gives us.
Yeah, but there are these two issues that we're going to go through today that, if you heed our advice, will potentially save you a lot of money. And we mean that seriously. And as Sarah says, this isn't all about slating Airbnb. We're going to tell you some of the good things about the platform as well. And if, by chance, an Airbnb host is watching this video, we've even got a top tip for you to make your business one of the top businesses on the Airbnb platform.
So we're covering all bases here, and to be clear, it's not because we've been unlucky, it's because these things just happen.
Yeah, and in our last 2 years of slow travel, we've stayed in 27 Airbnbs in 11 countries and 6 continents. So we know what we're talking about. For once in our life, Sarah, we know what we're talking about. So what is the good? Because there is so much good about the Airbnb platform.
It's basically about hosts that care, and that really can come across in an accommodation.
Yeah, and we've got some good examples of this. Like, for example, Kuala Lumpur. We stayed in a wonderful property in the Robertson building, but the communication was excellent, wasn't it?
Fantastic.
And we had the cleaner came in the same time every week, really happy, friendly, and all the amenities you'd expect to see were there. And then, do you remember the place in Blackheath in Australia?
I do. Fantastic.
It was a fantastic location. It was a beautiful Airbnb, and this isn't really what we're not really talking about the space itself. We're talking about the people. And although that place was beautiful, the host was beautiful as well. One of the issues.
Let us order something from Amazon.
It wasn't Amazon, because Amazon we can get around, but there was one thing we wanted to order that was actually coming from the other side of the world. It was coming from the US. Delivery company was saying it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks to get there. Now, we had this Airbnb booked 10 weeks in the future. So I contacted the host and said, I know we're booked in for 8 weeks. It's like, that's probably not even on her peripheral vision when we're going to be there. I said, but we've been told there's something being delivered. Is there any chance we could deliver it to you rather than us trying to find it at some point on our route across Australia? She said, not a problem. Just get it delivered here. We'll make sure it's there for you when you arrive. And as we came into that Airbnb, there it was on the table with a lovely note from her welcoming us to her Airbnb. I've got 2 more to go through, Sarah. Kusadasi.
Yep.
What I was going to say, well,
See,
you remember.
I don't-
And that's the thing here for hosts, not YouTubers, for hosts. If you can do something that makes your guest, because how long ago was that? 2 years ago? No, 1.5 years ago?
Yeah, 18 months.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
longer.
I say to Sarah Kusadashi, she says cake. And when you
Picture it,
think cake, we think about what that experience
It was
was.
just that special touch. She'd made a cake specially.
She
and
was
she was an
lovely.
emergency ER doctor, wasn't
Yeah,
she? So
she was
you know,
great.
hadn't got much time on her hands, so that was
And
lovely.
then in Querétaro in Mexico, who
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, who was the cleaner and housemaid there?
Evelyn.
Evelyn
Oh,
was
bless her.
wonderful, and she made that accommodation great. So we could sit and make a video talking about all the wonderful things we have had in Airbnbs, and all of those come down to hosts who do good jobs.
So what isn't so good?
Yeah, so let's get on to the nitty gritty of this. Well, comparing to a hotel, in all my life booking into hotels all around the world, the one thing I've always had an assurance of is when I book a hotel, there will be a bed there waiting for me. And I know there's probably stories out there. Someone's going to put in the comment, I booked a hotel and this went wrong. We get that. But in my experience, and your experience as well, when you
have a
book
bed.
a hotel, you've got a bed. And that is not always the case with Airbnb.
Is this what happened to us in Malaysia?
Yeah, exactly that. And to add insult to injury, this is one of those issues that could have ended up costing us a lot of money. So what happened was we were in Penang and we were packing up and heading to Kuala Lumpur to an Airbnb that we booked weeks earlier. And just by chance, it was about 11 o'clock
Yeah.
at night, I checked my phone. It said, I'm sorry to inform you that the washing machine is having technical internal issue that our technician team has checked, and they mentioned it will not be able to use and requires maintenance for 2 weeks. Now, I haven't come across too many washing machines in my time that take 2 weeks to maintain. They either work or they don't. And this all of a sudden became our problem. The thing is, we weren't going to Kuala Lumpur for fun. I had a medical issue that we were going down there and heading straight to the hospital.
And if they'd have said, are you okay without the washing machine? We would have been. It would have been absolutely fine. We could have coped.
Yeah,
But we
well-
just didn't even get that option. It was
Yeah.
like, sorry, can't accommodate you because of the washing machine.
So that was a real issue.
Yeah.
So this is the kicker, and this is the bit that could have ended up costing us a lot of money. And this isn't an isolated incident. The follow-up message was, the only way we could offer you is you may cancel the booking in Airbnb, and once the cancellation is made from your end, we'll agree to submit a full refund. Apologies for the inconvenience caused. So they can't host us, and we need to cancel? So this happens more often than you would expect, to be honest. And if I end up cancelling, I'm breaching the terms of the agreement. And if I cancel, there is no need for that host to give me the money back. And this isn't an isolated incident. We tried to book an Airbnb in Brussels, and soon after
Way
we
in
booked
advance.
it, way in
Yeah.
advance, and soon after booking it, the host got back to us to say, oh, I was planning to block that out. It's not going to be available. Can you please cancel it and I will give you a full refund? We had a bit of a to and a fro
did.
with that host because we had a long time to book something. I wasn't in any hurry and I just wanted to see how this conversation would go. And she was adamant it was my problem to cancel. So how many things have you had in your life where someone has said, I'm not going to provide you a service, so you cancel, and you go, yeah, that's a good idea. Never, ever, ever do that, because Airbnb won't be in a position to support you because you've taken the decision to cancel when it's the host that is looking to cancel.
They're
And
very
in fact,
crafty, aren't they, like that?
they are, and if you actually click the button to cancel, I think the top thing that Airbnb will say on the option list for your reason for cancelling is it the host that's asked you to do this? So they know this is clearly a problem as well.
So that little skit at the beginning of the video is actually another issue. You're getting charged a cleaning fee, but then strict instructions when you get to the Airbnb to actually clean up after yourselves.
Yeah, and this is a sign that was in our Airbnb just last week. Let's be clear here, we're very good visitors in Airbnb and we always leave the place spotlessly clean as we can without having to bring out a vacuum cleaner. But I do resent having a training course on cleaning as we arrived, which actually happened in this case. We were taken around the whole building and shown what to do about the cleaning situation. The implication here is we're going to be given a bad review if we miss any one of their instructions. But I've paid a £22 cleaning fee. Don't get me talking about Airbnb reviews, because I think the Airbnb review system is flawed. If you're interested in why that is, let us know. I might make a video about that in the future, but I don't really.
Start ranting.
Yeah, I don't want our channel to be a place where I say there's a problem with this, there's a problem with this. We got a lot more positive things to talk about, but the rating system is flawed, believe me. So here's that huge tip to make life better for the Airbnb host, so you have the best Airbnb business on the platform.
I hope that hosts do get to watch us, because we actually love you guys, and without Airbnb it really would have stopped us travelling, or
really
severely
impacted.
restricted it, wouldn't it,
Yeah.
around the world and going into the future.
That's it. And we're talking about the bad apples, and there's bad apples in all industries, but it's those bad apples that ruin it for the rest of you, isn't it? So here's what I want you to do. If you're a host, stay in your apartment or space, whatever it is. Don't just stay there for a night. Stay there for 2 weeks or a month. I'd love it if you stayed there for a month. And what you're going to see are the problems in your Airbnb, because believe me, there are problems in your Airbnb. I know you might be sitting there thinking, I've got 5-star reviews all over this, I don't need to listen to it, but there are always issues.
It's just something that will make the renting experience less exasperating than it needs to be.
So we're going to list now some of the issues that we've had in the last couple of years. And these are tiny, but if you want to make your Airbnb experience great and you want people who stay with you to be fans of you and your places, take heed. Firstly, we were in Vancouver and we had instructions on how to find the outside bin. I spent days trying to find that bin, couldn't find it anywhere. If there was a little video from him that said, you walk out here and you go down there and along here and turn right here and turn left there, brilliant, I'd have done it. But it was just a little bit exasperating, you know what I mean?
A sofa that has broken so many times in the past that the host has actually put a plank of wood to repair it.
Rafters and a totally unfinished ceiling in a bathroom in Australia. And that space was home to tens of spiders in Australia. Do you remember that?
I do, I'll never forget it.
Thing is,
No, I don't want to hear anything. If it's spiders, don't want to hear.
There were far more spiders up there than Sarah even knows. I just told her not to look up. There's another one.
Private swimming pool that we actually paid extra for, but it had a layer of scum on it. We just couldn't even use it.
And don't say in the comments, well, you should tell the host about these issues because they can resolve it. We tell the host about the issues and they sometimes resolve it and sometimes they don't. And in this case, we told the host, they didn't resolve it.
No.
And then what about that one place where we had neighbours upstairs shouting and screaming at each other, clearly not getting on great right through the night.
The owner clearly being a chain smoker, and the whole place absolutely reeked of smoke.
No shower head in the shower. We had to go and buy a shower head.
Precarious staircases that would be fatal if you actually fell down.
Yeah.
And he's got a track record of falling down.
I do have a track record falling downstairs. But then the big one that just comes up all the time is so many accommodations where there just aren't the right implements in the kitchen for you to cook properly. And the amount of times we've gone out.
As well.
Yeah, poor, but the amount of times you have to go out and buy a pot or a spoon or, you know, just the basics.
So if you fix your issues by just staying in your place for 2 to 4 weeks, you will stand out amongst the other Airbnb hosts for sure.
And don't get us wrong. We want Airbnb hosts to be brilliant. We want Airbnb to be fantastic. And we know that there are fantastic Airbnb hosts out there because we've met many of you. Thing is though, Sarah, we could make a video which would leave you terrified, exasperated and laughing out loud at some of the experiences we've had in Airbnbs over the last couple of years.
I'll never forget the sofa incident.
Yeah, let's not go into that now. We're recording this video whilst house sitting in the UK. So this is the back garden, and because it isn't our place, we're not showing any of this because that wouldn't be fair on the owners. And we're looking after 4 cats and 2 kittens. We're loving it.
Are loving it.
And do you know though, next week, in the next video, which we're going to put here, in the next video, we're going to put that here, we're going to be comparing Airbnb to hotels and to house sitting to find out which one is best for your long-term travel needs. But you've been watching To Go Roam, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.